Hey all, this is Chris DeSaris with Women Speak Out, and tonight I wanted to talk a little bit about an experience I had a couple nights ago. I went to my first Take Back the Night rally, and for people who aren't aware of what Take Back the Night is, it's an event primarily for women. It sort of rallied around this idea where you take back the night, where you don't have to be afraid of the night. You don't have to be afraid of being violated, of being potentially raped, or just having this general fear that you can't walk around at night. So what happens usually is a bunch of women get together and they rally. They speak about their experiences with domestic violence. And then they proceed to walk through the night. And I had never been to this rally, so I had no idea what to expect. So it was being held at this college, and this college is actually a very large college. I actually work there. It has about 40,000 students, and it was in this building. We walked into the building. There were maybe 25 to 30 people total, mostly all women, and there were a few guys there as well. And it was a very eye-opening experience to me. I wasn't sure what to expect. There was only a few students there. I was like, okay. My wife had been to other Take Back the Night rallies, and there had been quite a few more in the rallies that she's been to. So she was also a little bit unsure of what to expect as well. We sat down, and the speakers started coming up and started to talk about their experiences with domestic violence primarily. And it was all women. One man had come up and spoken, and it was obvious that he wasn't a survivor, but he had spoken about his being there and supporting the women in his life who had been violated in this way. And it was very emotional, and there was just story after story. The people who I wouldn't expect to be survivors, I mean, they all just kind of came up, all walks of life. And my wife spoke, and a few other people spoke, and the entire time I was actually quite fearful to speak. I was kind of like the only male. I thought I was the only male survivor there. So towards the end, when things started to kind of wrap up, I got up and I had something to talk about, and it was a great experience because in talking about my survivorship, there's always things that you learn about yourself when you get in front of a group of people, and everybody has these emotional experiences, and they're relating their stories of abuse to strangers. I didn't know any of these people. They didn't know me. Yet they were telling me these experiences they had of being raped, of being sexually abused, of being drugged and waking up in bed with these people who had violated them. My particular story was about a friend of mine, actually my best friend in high school. His name was Eddie, and he was also a survivor of abuse. He was actually, in this organization, I interact with people all the time, and they tell me about their different experiences with abuse. He was the first person that ever disclosed to me that he was a survivor of abuse, and he did this in high school. And it almost compelled, I didn't have the courage at the time, but I wish I did, in order to tell him that he wasn't alone and that I was a survivor of abuse as well, but I didn't. And a few years ago, he took his life. And sometimes I think back at the opportunities that we have in life, and taking those opportunities, and these opportunities that we have to let other people feel like they're not alone in this world. And that was an opportunity I didn't take. And I realized that I had carried a lot of guilt with me. I had carried it for so long, especially after what happened. And I just got up. I could barely get it out. I could barely get out my story of what happened. But there was so much support in the room, and I felt so much love from everybody else, and I felt safe, and that's why I got up. And I told these people my story, and I told these people about my best friend, and I told these people about the guilt that I carried, and I told these people that I'm not going to pass up another opportunity to let somebody else feel like they're to 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 make sure that people know that they're not alone. And that's the message that's the message that I got out of this. And after I did it, I felt that Eddie was somewhere in the room. I felt that he was there watching, and he was there smiling, and I wish I would have told him at the time, but I didn't. But it's never too late. It's never too late to tell somebody that I am in the same boat as you, and I am also a survivor, and I relate to your experiences, and you aren't alone, and continue breaking the silence. So that's my story for tonight. I hope you guys have a great evening, great week, and we'll keep in touch later. Thanks.